It's funny to me. Well, it's not funny. Now, strange, I was talking this morning about threats, foreign and domestic, and about treason. And then turn again, get a notification at work about the freak in New York that goes and lights a device, which turns out to be some, was it gasoline and fireworks, and then had an air rifle and whatever kind of weapons up there at Federal Plaza in New York. Now, they firebombing churches. They're killing on them and shooting and either throwing people off the trains, on the train tracks or somewhere, throwing them wherever they can throw them. And then shooting people. I saw a young lady get robbed where they shot her in the chest because she didn't want to give up her backpack on the train. But y'all shooting this Negro, shooting at a federal building, and likely looking to shoot and do whatever to federal officers. So, the Todd Blanche, acting U.S. attorney, whatever charges y'all apply, can we get some treason charges started on all these daggone people that are threatening federal workers, federal buildings, federal property, who are attacking and attempting to run over ICE officers, and they jumping out there, so they got to get jumped back on. It needs to be treason charges on top of whatever else. But definitely this is treason. These treasonous bastards that, unfortunately, instead of them going to the jihadi country of their choosing that they're in love with, they don't want to go there, so they want to stay their tails here and wreak havoc. They're committing acts of treason, terroristic threats, intimidation, all of that, before the simple fact that they don't like the laws and the laws being enforced. I'm tired of these people. I have been tired for too long. And I get it. You got to try to reason, but you can't reason with jihadists. You can't reason with idiots. You can't reason with demons. You can't reason with manipulative, entitled, ignorant, can't take no form of correction, and that have been propped up to be used as weapons of destruction. What we have are Americans who are aligned with the jihadist mentality and mindset. They are willing to die because they think it's so righteous. They have made these people think. Remember the glorification of suicide? These people look forward. They think that they're dying for something righteous, and they're not. You're not. You're not. Somebody need, and if they want to be committed to it, then they need to get all the smoke that they're asking for when they're caught. It's not lost on me every day when I enter the building that I work in, and the fact that I work in the director's office. It's not lost on me that every single day is a day I can thank God when I could arrive and go home safely and sound. And the same for everybody in my building and in my director's office. And majority of the building, because we live in a crap tail, overrun wasteland of backwards thinking, a lot of them wish death harm, and whatever else, I'm sure. But I'm thankful because I'm in the building and I leave and go safely. But the fact that this fool is out here willing to threaten federal officers and workers and contractors, we need treason charges. Somebody has got to be made an example of from here on out, starting with him. It's too many of these whack jobs because they're being raised and bred. And instead of being taught anything useful, that's why they not functioning out here. That's why we seeing all the reports finally of things that I've been knowing for a long time because I just watch. Some of us had the ability to just watch and look and observe and read multiple different things and watch what's going on around the country. I don't rely on freaking mainstream media for nothing. I done seen the errors that they are. Their personality over reality. And every now and then when they actually do some reality, it's likely because, case in point, when Nick Shirley found that fraud and exposed it in Minnesota with them daycares, they got bested by a young guy, early 20s, doing a job that they should have been doing. But they run interference for them people. They run interference. And the only reason why they started talking about it was, one, they wanted to discredit him. But then you had, was it CBS, the guy at CBS that went to they went and they actually saw that it really was some smoke. But we already knew that. That's why a lot of us like independent journalists. But there's too many people that are still sucking on the tit of fake news. And looking at Hollywood and these pushers of wicked that call God a liar. I don't know what kind of spell beyond a stronghold, a demonic strangling that you under, because it ain't nothing else. That's it. By now, at some point, you shouldn't be willing to take nobody's word for jack when they come on mainstream media. I watch yet again. I like watching Fulton County. I like watching when they have the little people going in front of the election board. Them people down there exposing the issues with their voting. Same with Michigan. I like watching these. I'm like, what in the world? That's why I know. That the main scheme wasn't trying to cover the election fraud issue or nothing else related to it. Because they don't want to cover it. Because that'll hurt the very people that they always running interference for. But you would have to have watched other news and watched local channels and have actually had a brain cell working to be like, oh, why wouldn't you? That's your job to report. Let us see and we'll figure it out ourselves. They need to be charged as well. These news outlets that don't do any type of real reporting, they just give you their views on everything, trying to now analyze and run cover. No, that's not journalism. Go investigate. I watched them people running at Fulton County Board of Elections. They want them people, they want the board arrested. That's what the residents of Fulton County, they want the board arrested. Why would you want the board arrested? Michigan, same thing. They going out there, Pastor Swalwell, and it's another guy. I saw him about 2 years ago, and he was lining up and outlining the discrepancies he's found. He's actually talked to people, got them on camera. I'm like, what? But I don't need. But that's just an added bonus for me because I already know something wrong when I walk in at DC, where it really don't matter. Because it's one side, it's one-sided. But you don't need an ID. Years ago, I used to need an ID. Now I don't need no ID. So if nobody needs an ID, that means anybody's walking in there. That's not secure. And only a fool thinks it is. But I know I live around a whole lot of fools, so I'm not surprised. As witnessed by the primaries. You already had a bad crap anyway. But that was the worst of the crop. Most of y'all will wake up at the last minute when it's too late and realize, well, why wasn't nobody doing that? Why wasn't nobody fighting? Oh, well, they're trying to fight. They're trying. But instead of that, the people that are so thirsty and need to be propped up so bad, that's what getting your ego stroked. Sometimes you don't need to have your ego stroked. Because you're getting it stroked and it's producing the wrong result. And then we got to deal with all this foolishness with all these lunatics popping off. We got lunatics in the neighborhoods beefing. All you saying that all this shooting and stuff going on now? Beefing. Most of the accidents you see on the roads, Maryland had quite a number of accidents last week. There's a lot of scams going on with licenses for illegals. Everything that they doing for illegals at your detriment. But you don't understand why stuff is high. They paying for things for illegals. Why do you think they set up defense funds for illegals? But it's a deficit in most of these cities and states. And it's going to get worse because absolutely the funding needs to be pulled. How are you spending federal money when we have federal immigration laws and you're breaking the law? Any genius want to answer that question? Federal laws for immigration. Then you allowing criminals to have their way. But then y'all wonder when crime gonna stop. When you create an atmosphere for tolerating crime, what the heck you think you're gonna get? You live in a sanctuary area. We live in a sanctuary area. And it pisses me off to no end. And the same silly people will sit here and complain about crime and people and their habits on the road. Y'all don't want change for y'all just like to complain. You just need something to keep complaining about. And these people know that. So that's why they do what they do. I'm sick of it. And all the exposure that's happening and needs to happen, sadly, it's still not getting enough fools opened up because there's too many reprobates, obviously. Because it ain't nowhere in hell. If you really was in a right state of mind and not under a strong delusion, you wouldn't be like, hold up, I need to look into this, or maybe I need... Putting yourself and everybody else around you at risk. So if people want to be at risk, we need to make sure that we're up and maximizing the charges that are put on people, especially when they break federal law. The states are not going to do nothing. Whack week on crime, states are not going to do anything. DC, Maryland, Virginia, they're not going to do jack. They had an old man that was hit over in Virginia. I just saw the story. They love illegal, hitting folk with a car. There ain't nothing going to happen if Descano have his way. I don't even know what county it's in. I'm going to have to go look that up. There's issues on the roads. Another license scam was found. I forgot what state. Giving out licenses. They using earbuds to translate or doing whatever for people that have never read, don't know how to read, and don't understand none of the laws, none of the symbols, but the earbud. And they just telling them what the answers are. How safe is that? So you got cars, you got trucks, and y'all think we're not supposed to have DOT and FMCSA clamp down and do anything about it? You a fool. They killing on the road. Why don't you go do some research on that? I make it my business to see what they doing in the trucking industry because I have to. I support a freaking trucking company. So certain things I need to know that's happening on the road because it might possibly affect the drivers of the company. But it also affects me, period, and people that I know because we on the roads driving. So I need to know what these people out here doing and how many people are getting away, getting licenses and things that shouldn't have them because it makes us less safe. But as usual, why they doing that? Why they want to do? Why they cracking that? Why they don't want illegals to be driving? Why they don't want that? And y'all will kill yourselves to help an illegal before you help yourself or your family. Well, I hope you don't never have to experience nothing that nobody else has experienced. Whole list of people that they don't show you on mainstream media. They don't show you them, the people who have been hurt and affected. Again, you want to see Dakar Thompson and Rachel Morin right here in this area. But they don't talk about that, do they, on mainstream? They don't talk about them. I'm trying to understand why we haven't gotten a follow-up on what's going on with the girl that killed Dakar. They don't want, cause you know why? Because he's an illegal. Mainstream ain't gonna tell you that. I'm gonna look it up myself because I want to know what the heck is going on. The DHS has her on the website, but you don't hear nothing in the Maryland, DC, and Virginia news about Dakar Thompson and the young lady. Remember the one that was killed over there at the bus stop in Virginia? And on and on and on. You don't hear much about what's going on with them dudes, do you? Y'all don't know why? But let it be you. These people already let you know criminals and illegals are the people that they support. They just want us to pay pay taxes so they can divvy up the money to those people. If I can help it, I'm gonna get them. I want them to be gone. But in this area, that's better, easier said than done. There's too many people still think. I'm glad it's some people that have woken up, but it's still too many people that think these people are your friend. Keep on thinking that.